So, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming back again to the return of the priestess. And as we're talking about the everyday priestess, the idea of the wisdom keeper of the goddess being us, because we're the body, the voice, the hands of the sacred feminine, of the divine. And we're gifted with that opportunity to be here at this time in a body to create new worlds of peace and harmony, new worlds where we are individually fully expressed, and new worlds where we remember our intuitive self. So, men, women, any age, any time, you don't have to want to be a wand holding goddess. You can always come. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, to the show. Make sure you come and share this with everyone because we're always bringing new ways to decode who you are, who you were, what's the guidance right now, what's the spiritual weather right now, how the evolution of everything has been unfolding to bring us to this moment, the cycles of time, the time of Leo, the time of Aquarius, the year of the snake, all these cosmic energies from the Lion's Gate to the eclipses and the equinoxes. Plus, you have sacred sites, you have places that amplify these energies, and you have ancient schools, you have schools on stars, you have schools across time and space that always had the way for us to access wisdom. So, divination is natural communication with the divine, direct communication, whether that's through oracle cards or tarot cards, whether that's through understanding a form of astrology or channeling, meditating, communing in all the different ways. And we've seen sound and human design and all these different ways now of seeing that. And one of the things that's beautiful is that this is the sacred call to come back and look at yourself and say, I'm here for a reason. I'm here on purpose. I didn't end up here by accident. And everything that's happened in my life has been for me, not to me. And how can I gather that and find the pearls, find the gems, find the wisdom within it? Because those are the doorways that lead you back to connect to the wisdoms you have. Maybe it's feeling called to learn the I Ching or the Tarot or Feng Shui. Maybe it's called to go on a certain retreat or live in a certain place or start to practice a meditation or shift your schedule. All these things are calling you from within. And right now, because we have this grand metamorphosis on the planet, we're all having also a collective up leveling and shedding happening as well. So as we come in, we're going to take a moment, just take a nice deep breath in. We'll go back and look at our beautiful goddess. And as you enter the sacred space, really feel yourself coming here. Take a breath and let it out and ask it to clear your body, your mind, and your space. Ask it to vibrate out so that around you is not just a place of peace as you receive now from Master Clarice, as you receive because your soul brought you here right now, that you're in the right place at the right time, in the right moment. Then breathe in again, feel the butterflies all around you because you're in a constant cycle. Let that breath out. And I enter the sacred space. I'm here in reverence. I'm ready to be open and receptive in my mind, body, spirit, and heart. I'm ready to receive and release all that's optimal for me. This wisdom is here for me. It's going to open doors within me. It's going to release memories within me. It's going to align me with new forms of communication, new ideas that perhaps trigger memories, perhaps open doors to what you might want to do. Perhaps give you a new understanding of who you are or what you're supposed to be doing. What is this all about right now? So come in with those questions, but release the need, release the past, release the stories, feel all the sacred priestesses, the lineages, the wisdom all around you, cleansing and clearing. Now, as you take your spot in our sacred circle, we give great thanks to all of the sacred women, the healers, all of the leaders, all of the architects and queens, all of the healers and doctors and medicine, all of those who knew the wise ones and the way to speak to the wind, and all those before us and all those to come. We recognize that we are one with the all, and we're ready to receive new downloads of wisdom and release old unserving patterns. Now feel this space transforming, full of beautiful blossoms and colors. And feel yourself now relaxed, open, and receptive, ready for this beautiful gathering. Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you so much. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm so happy to thank you so much for inviting me.
So, I want to introduce you to this beautiful lady, Clarice Chan, or Master Clarice. And we met, I think it's 3 years ago, in a month or so in Greece. And
Yes, that's right.
Um, and it's just one of the most joyful things is gathering all these different people together with different perspectives, different wisdom, different paths. So what is really beautiful is that Clarice has this wisdom that's very ancient and yet combining in a way here in this world in a very unique way. So an international feng shui master, Chinese astrologer from Singapore, where she is right now, renowned for her deep knowledge of Eastern metaphysics, which is just such a juicy topic. Over 2 decades of experience, she's authored 20 books. Okay. Her latest is Master Clarice Chan's Guide to 2025, the year of the Yin Wood Snake, which we're still in. And so many, we're a little more than halfway, but we're still having so much power in this. And then you'll probably share, but she's going to be coming out soon with 2026, which is the fire horse, the Yang fire horse. And then her expertise spans feng shui, Chinese astrology, numerology, I Ching, Taoist ceremonies, which I'm really intrigued by, because this performs traditional rituals and blessings for homes, businesses, and personal empowerment. How wonderful is that? That's my favorite thing is, becoming all these things, learning all these things, remembering all these things, and then blending them together inside of you in a very unique way where you can bring that together to change people's lives, their health, their homes, their families, and everything. So, as a celestial oracle, Master Clarice uses spiritual tools to offer guidance, clarity, and alignment, empowering individuals to live with purpose and abundance. And her work integrates ancient wisdom, yay, with modern living, helping clients and audiences worldwide. And I do think you're usually at the
The LA Conscious Life Expo.
that's it. I was like Expo, excellent.
Yeah.
Conscious Life Expo. Yeah. So if you would like to see her, then definitely check that out. And harnessing cosmic cycles, balancing your 5 elements, and activating your highest potential. So this is her website. It's going to be in the emails. It's going to be below, but make sure you make a note of it because you definitely want to connect with her and everything she's got coming out. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Nan. It's, Akasha. It's really wonderful to be here with you. And I'm so looking forward to this. And, you talk about Stargate, where we met September in 2023. I remember the first time I met you, I saw you, I was so convinced that I know you. Although I didn't know your name, but I was convinced I know you, if you remember that.
Oh, yeah, it's so funny, yeah, and there seemed to be, like, all during that because it was many days, right, that
Yes,
it's just
yes.
this flow of, like, running and weaving, together, in and out, and everything, and that's a very different most people that I know in our world, I've never met them in person, and
All
you, I
right.
met you in person first, so it's sort of it's
It's
the other way around.
yes, yes, yes. It's all coming all around, so which is very, very good and very exciting.
It
I mean,
is.
and then when I met you, I never thought that I'll be online with you on the show. So this is absolutely miracle.
Yeah, that's what's fun is all these things, the pathways that we weave, right, in our lives and stuff. So, well, so share a little more with us about your life path and how with the wisdom that you have now, with all of these incredible tools you have and these ways, perspectives really, right, of seeing and understanding life, not just what's happening now, but what has happened, your purpose, your birth qualities. There's so much wisdom that you carry, how you look at your life and see how you got here, and what you feel now, if it was really destiny or what.
Well, I don't know about destiny. It's more like a journey, But definitely there is a calling, because I feel that everything that has happened around me has led me to being here. So I started off being, growing up regular girl, doing all the things that you do as you grow up, looking for that relationship, making that money, looking for all the material things in the world. But then as you grow, as I move along, I realize that, why am I kind of like thinking differently, with everyone else that is around me? And then, of course, I have my own challenges. Career was a challenge. Although I did very well, I was from the travel industry. And it was at the height of my career that I actually left the industry, because I got sick. I recovered. I mean, I had surgery, I recovered. But it was then that I decided that I don't want to do this anymore.
Ah,
And it's very interesting, and then, of course, from a young age, um I'm very energy I mean, I'm very sensitive to energy. So it's like my mom do not allow me to go to visit to play on the left side of my house. I mean, anywhere, it's almost like there's an imaginary line. I cannot cross to the left side of the kampong, or the village, as we call it then. But I could go play with my neighbors on the right side. All the people can come and play with me, but I just can't cross over to the left hand side.
and
Because the
what was,
parent,
yeah, explain that.
sorry,
Explain that.
explain. Yeah. Oh, because it appears that whenever I go play, obviously I have crossed over to the left hand side of the village. But whenever I go play there, even if it's for a very short time, I come back sick.
Ah, very.
So and therefore they would not, or if I bring anything home, then they later, you talk about how in ceremony they have to burn an offering, make an offering to of Thanksgiving, sort of to the East spirits. Maybe I have done something that has offended them as a child. I don't, that's how the belief was, and then I will get better afterwards.
Wow.
So, and I would start looking for. I remember start looking, what are all the, I was like 4 or 5. I was like, what happened to all those toys I brought home? And then they would say, oh, they have been, offered, transformed, because I shouldn't have brought them home.
Oh.
So it was I remembered it very well. And as a child, it was very upsetting. Why can't I go there and play? But I could go to the right hand side to play. So that was my first kind of like, if you want to call it, what is the word for it? Spiritual experience as a child.
Right.
But
Yeah.
I also wondered, why am I here on earth when I was very young, like 6 years old. So, and these are thoughts that are like very disturbing as a child, because it's like, why am I asking these questions? So,
Yeah. Why
you
am I
know,
here? But why am I asking why I'm here? Yeah.
yeah.
It's a
So
level
it's
of self-awareness, right?
yes. So, and of course, growing up, I have my life challenges. And then I started learning about Reiki, but I have been asking for the tarot cards for the longest time, since I was like 10 or 11, and nobody knows why. But I never got my hands on them, because they never saw, obviously, they didn't sell them in 1970 in Singapore. Never, didn't get my hands on them till I was like 26, you know. when I went to Australia, because I was in a tour company, I was leading a tour there, and I said, go to Australia. I must go to a metaphysical bookstore and I will buy myself a deck of tarot cards that nobody would buy for me.
Yeah, really, that was true in the culture there? You couldn't buy tarot cards?
Not before, I think 1980. I don't think you can.
Interesting.
Yeah, very, I mean, we are only 60 years old.
Yeah, yeah.
So in fact, we were found, we became a sovereign country, a republic in 1965. We just had our National Day, which is during the Lionsgate photo,
Oh,
9th of August. Yes,
wow, wow.
yes,
Right on the
yeah.
full moon this
So,
year too, yeah.
and the full moon. So we had our celebration, and then we had the Fullerton Hotel, and the moon was the flank there, and they were saying that we even bought the moon for the show.
Oh,
But it's not planned in that way,
yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, because early on in the day it was raining and so forth when they were having the parade. Who would have thought that the moon is just going to show up like, wow,
Oh my God.
amongst all the fireworks and everything. So it's amazing.
So that's so amazing that you were asking for tarot cards. There was no internet. There was no one selling them. Did you know anyone
No,
who had them?
not when I was younger, not when I was growing up,
About them. Did
but
you just start dreaming it?
I just knew them.
You just knew
Oh
them.
yes, but I just knew them, and then I saw that. I think I was growing up. I saw them on TV, and I knew that I wanted that of that. But
Yeah.
I just don't. And my brother was a flight steward, and I said, when you go to England, can you get me a deck? And he wouldn't hear. Of course, he didn't. I had to
Uh-huh.
get my own deck. So I still have that deck. It's called the Mythic Tarot. So I still
Wow.
have the deck. So it's very special to me.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So while I do feng shui, while I do Chinese astrology, and more recent years I've done Western astrology, and also I Ching and so forth. Um, it's like when I have a session, when people come to me for guidance, um, apart from looking at their birth chart, I combine it with the tarot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for a more I wouldn't say instant, like because Chinese astrology, I look at it as more a long-term overview of your life. But for
Okay.
the Q&A, for current situation guidance, then I use the tarot.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
then
I've always found that very, very useful, or rather my clients have found that to be very useful.
I think so. I mean, Oracle decks basically grew out of the tarot, the concept.
Yes.
They're a little bit different, but it's the same thing as having a tool of communication that's agreed upon with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're going to agree to speak English today. And so then you can,
Yes.
and you're going to send me a letter, and it's like
Yes.
agreeing on the form of the communication, which then gives the depth. And what I love is not just like, very much like I just came out with my first Oracle deck and we did a whole class on using it and going into it, but it's also like so it's like your own individual, right, communication with that card or that image or that feeling or that energy, but then to have a system and to have all those people who've done it in a sacred way, kind of that tradition that adds to the power and the energy and the healing of these systems. I would imagine you can feel that with all the different work you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And talk about creating, just build your own deck. I did a deck, but I only managed to do the tarot, but it has a fantasy theme. I love fantasies,
Yeah.
So fantasy work. So but somehow I did this during the 2020 to 2021,
Wow.
but I only have a complete deck of the major arcanas. So I
Oh,
work quite a lot with the major arcanas because I feel that they represent every stage of life from birth
right.
to rebirth, so to speak, you
Yeah.
know. So that's, I work with a regular deck, but at the same time, I mean the full deck that is, I also have additionally have always have the major arcanas with me
I
as a
love that.
separate deck.
I
Uh,
love that idea. So pull a card for us now. So let us
mm-hmm.
all, we'll tune into asking for our optimal guidance right now, because I love the fantasy theme. And I do love that idea of like saying, taking part of a system and saying that part also has another level of wisdom that we can tune into.
Yes. So here we have pulling a card, asking the spirit to guide us for today on this portal. Lionsgate portal as well is wonderful. I see. Interesting. So, don't even hopefully everyone can see. This
Yep.
is the card of the chariot. Yeah, the card of the chariot. And so this is very significant for me when we have the card of the chariot, because we're talking about riding forward. But it's also not just riding forward as in just moving forward. It is pulling the yin and the yang. If you see it in some of the decks, you have and even in this deck, you have you have a black horse and a white horse. It's not so, yes, it's not so clear in this one, but you do have two horses, and they are pulling in separate directions, but you as the rider or the person, you have to bring things together. It's balancing of the yin and yang, and is bringing different aspect of your life together, so that you can bring forth with you the treasure that you're pulling in the cart
Right.
or in the coach, so to speak. So I always find this to be a very powerful card for people. And sometimes we can get this card in a reverse direction, which means that they have lost control of life,
Ah,
which could mean that their yin and yang are not balanced, or their spiritual and physical life is not that is too much of a seesaw, so to speak, and they lost their balance. So it's very important when we get this card to understand that, some people are torn too about their spiritual path and their physical life. Many of us, when we started out thinking that we have to give out certain aspect of our physical life in order to fulfill the spiritual life.
mhm. Yeah.
We have to give up maybe materials. We have to give up, a relationship. We gotta give up, But that is a very old school kind of
Yeah.
thought, where you have to, like is that the word, Asiatic, you have to,
Yes.
yeah, you give up everything, that poverty, but you don't have to. All your knowledge, all your treasures, all your tools, they are that, what's in the in the coach behind you. You just have to ride forth with what you have, and your wisdom. So
Mm.
that is what I get from this card at
Yeah.
this moment.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. I love that. Well, and that's perfect because, we're here in this gathering to remember these gifts we have, right? And that, we've had that fear of our gifts. So going in two directions, right? We've had that idea that, oh, if I'm intuitive, then maybe I'll be weird or I'll be attacked, or, we have that doubt of trusting ourself or trusting spirit, those kinds of things that we're coming out of in our culture, that has been suppressed. So this is like
Yes.
you're going forward, but I never realized that their horses are going in two directions, right? And so that balancing of the yin and yang, that's what we're talking about in general right now, right? Balancing the sacred masculine and feminine, the polarities inside of us and society.
And sometimes it's a battle, the yin and yang, which we talk commonly refer to like the masculine and the feminine, and then sometimes the feminine kind of have to, or the lag behind, so to speak. And then of course you come to the period now whereby we think that the feminine has to rise above, but really they have to be in balance.
Exactly. Yeah.
Rise up to be in balance. It's not a competition.
Yeah. Yeah, the balance is the key. The balance is,
Yes,
then they get the co-creation, you get the stability, then you can focus and all. I think so much of the drama that we've been playing out for hundreds of years on the planet, the lack mentality and the chasing and the control and just all of that, coming into balance of our own internal balance will then get reflected in the world. Um,
yes.
and what other aspects are this around the fantasy, like the fantasy aspect that you see for us to engage our imaginations to create this new world?
Well, I think we have to be able to imagine or feel in our mind. I love, I still am I love legends and myths, mythology and fairy tales, whatever. I feel that that lifts me to a different dimension. Within that, we can be anything we want. Not to say that we fantasize and be Cinderella, so to speak, not that kind of fantasy, but somehow it's like being in a different dimension. Being, like you say, as I talk to you now about fantasy, then I can feel that priestess, that feminine energy coming through. And I feel that in that, it's very much when you watch fantasy movies, there's always that high priestess. That the energy is very, very strong, and I feel it very strongly, And for in my culture, um, where we have Taoism as part of our religion. You have Buddhism, Taoism. In Singapore, it's multicultural, so you have many religions. So we all live in harmony. It's a rule that we have to live in harmony. But yes, it's
The
the
role,
basis.
I love it. We live in harmony. It's the role, so
It's a rule. No, it's the basis. It's the basic. It's the fundamental that is where our lives are built on here, that we live in harmony with each other.
I love
From the
it.
day we become a sovereign country, it's like religion, race, language, we all have to be in harmony, which is fine,
Yeah.
and which is lovely. So that's one very special thing about Singapore.
Yes.
Now, um, so then you talk about Taoism, like I talk about Taoist ceremonies. No, this is ancient. Taoism is ancient. I don't even, did Taoism come before Buddhism, right? It's
Yeah.
going on for thousands and thousands of years before a lot of religion. I think they're very close to like Hinduism, Taoism, they're very close, and they were one of the earliest religions. And the sacred feminine at the time probably didn't come true for thousands of years too.
Mhm.
So, and therefore, most of the priests uh, in Taoism, they are mostly men.
Mm.
So even women were added much later, and in much less, in very low percentage. So even when I joined, I mean, Taoism is a very broad base word, whereby depending on which sect I would call it, you join. It's like little denomination within the whole school of Taoism. Depend on which division you join, they have their own sets of rules and they are very ancient and their traditions are very ancient. The way they make their offerings, their prayers, their mantras. There's some similarities, but uh, it's very what you call it, unique to each division.
Right.
So where I am a part of, interestingly, the division uh, has a name. If I translate it, it says golden eagle, which I love because it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's kind of it's you can listen, you can hear the name, and you listen to the name, you know that it's spiritual.
Yeah.
And I love that. I mean, originally, unless you're from the same village, unless you're in the same direct dialect group, you're not allowed to join. But then, yeah, and then and then of course, as time goes by, lesser people are interested. is superstitious, is, oh, you want to put on the new jacket of the modern religion.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't like the old practices, the incense, the mantras, didn't like any of that. So it kind of, even their own families start to reject them
Mm.
because it's, oh, that's, very old, too old fashioned, too superstitious. And but I was drawn to it. I've always been drawn to it. I want to learn, besides some, I mean, beside the tarot, beside the Reiki, because the feng shui, that's, like the feng shui is great. You work with the elements, you work with the house, but I want something more. And that something more has to be, feng shui itself is not of any religion, and it doesn't have spiritual practice in a way. You can add to it. And this is one aspect of Taoism that I can merge with the practice of the principles of feng shui if I want to, like when you say, energize the space. How do you energize a space? Not by putting an element there, but there has, if you can add a mantra specific for that purpose,
Mm.
or do a ceremony, a cleansing ritual,
Mm.
then it is much more meaningful and really you can activate the space. And that
Mm.
is exactly what I do at a Conscious Life Expo. I'm part of the opening ceremony for the past couple of years. I was very fortunate to be, invited to do that. I hope to be doing that once again in February next year. And the whole, I work with the energy around me, the cardinal points, open the portals, the mantra, the blessing, with also that physical element of, auspicious items. To,
Mm.
it's like in thought, in word, and in deed, you have to have something physical to show people, to give to people. So that is that part and part of all the uh, rituals that I do, is to bring to life what we've always talked about, if that's what I mean. It's like spiritualizing or actualizing the concept of blessings.
Oh, I love that. Actualizing blessings. Yeah, yeah, bringing them
Yeah.
in a tangible way. I'm always so fascinated and delighted uh by all the different sacred traditions, cultures, and so on. The ones that are more well known and developed, the ones that have been more forgotten, and so on. And living with the Maya, how fast the Mayan wisdom is coming back up into the consciousness, how fast they're finding the books, how much of that is coming. I started out in Greek mystery schools, Celtic mystery schools, Egyptian working in Native Americans, working with shamans. And at first I thought I had to learn every religion. And I was like, oh my God, I was reading the Buddhist Bible, and then I was reading about Taoism, and then I was reading about Hindu, and it was like that was a long time ago. It was like almost 40 years ago. But that's what I thought at first, was like, oh my gosh, I have to know all of it. Then you reach that tipping point, you see, and everything you were talking about, to bring in a ritual is so common to everyone on the planet. The mantras, like speaking, the vibration, uh, what did you call it? Auspicious items?
Yes.
I love that
Auspicious.
word. I'm gonna use that term now. I've never used that. And it's so wonderful, you have your auspicious items, and we love to create altars and spaces that reflect what's happening in the world, but how that's a part, of what you do. And then I know, for me, in my experience, and I believe too, that each one of these things you're talking about is in and of itself a consciousness, a frequency of conscious healing energies that holds a particular medicine, we would call it, right? A particular
Yes, yes, yeah,
energy, and then weaves through you, right? In a unique way, right? When you enter there. So, uh,
yeah,
yeah, beautiful. Well,
yeah.
uh, take us, either deeper into this idea of the ritual, or into a more in-depth reading or something, or whatever you feel like is coming up to share with us now through all of your
Right. So when you were talking about building your sacred space, when you're talking about auspicious items, so one thing, like it's always been known, it's more well known in I suppose in Southeast Asia. There are items and there are items. Yeah. So you can place like a bell, for example, or a statue of Ganesha, if you like. But there are rituals that we actually like. You give, like when we receive Reiki, we have an attunement, but we also give the items and attunement process. And after attuning the process, after the attunement process, it's like you have opened the third eye of that item, and that itself become much more powerful. So you can so for that's part and part of what I do. So I cleanse all my products, and then depends on the client. Some they want to have that process for their items, and some don't. But usually with like for example, you don't attune every single item. Like for like a dragon seal, for example, they want them um for work, for in their home or office. Then we would attune that item for a specific purpose. Maybe it's for power and authority. Maybe it's to mainly the dragon seal is to like kind of protects the person from negative energy,
Mm.
and that can be from a human person or to the metaphysical energy. Yeah. So that's that. So that's one aspect of it, and which is, I love doing that. And then of course you when we go to a house, you have random you want to start. I'm sure you have that in the Mayan tradition or the shamanic tradition. When you want to renovate the space, when you want to take over your house, you don't just take over the house. I remember when I was in,
No, I
yeah,
wouldn't go anywhere near it without being over there and doing a lot of, yeah, cleansing. And
yeah,
what you're talking about, like cleansing the items, it's very true that you see this like here. I do it, but I've learned it from other shaman. But when I, do ceremony with a shaman or curandera or somebody here from the Maya tradition or Aztec traditions, they do the same thing. It's like when they come in to do something for my retreat, and we're doing it at the house we're in or something, it'll be like, I'll tell everybody, oh, come back at 3 o'clock, but they show up
yes,
at 2 and they start
yes,
preparing the space. And so
yes.
I also say, if you want to be there to watch them prepare the space, you can come, they don't mind. And they take out all of their items and they cleanse them all with the sage or copal, and they do the chime over them, and they do it to each other, and they like, it's a whole thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Yes,
Very
yes.
powerful.
So
I think
very powerful.
not a lot of
Mm.
people do that necessarily by themselves in their own homes, so that's really something to.
No, they don't. And especially if you take over a new space, or even it's an old space, so to speak, whereby there's, residual existing energy, you do have um to make an offering, make peace, because if you're renovating the place, you're tearing up their energy space.
Yes,
So
and the
it is
guardians of the land, we call it
yes.
often, the guardians of the place, to let go of the energies that don't serve you or anyone else anymore, honor the space and everything, like, because everything still exists, all time exists, right? So,
You
um,
just reminded me of something, of a little prayer that was, it's not from me. Was taught, it was mostly, is I learned it from someone. And I think Shima Moore from Conscious Life Expo. And she always, when she enters a space, and she's, well, let's do a little invocation. And it's like, you know, kind and luminous being, guardian of this place. Thank you for your hospitality. And may God, Goddess, and Spirit bless you. And I found that to be
beautiful.
so beautiful and so much. like you feel so much better, you know, when you enter like a hotel room and in uh or a space that you want to do work out of, or you know, just being somewhere, an ancient place, you know, like a Delphi or so forth. You say a little prayer like that, and it just, you feel your energy kind of merging with the sacredcy of the space.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine not doing that. I've been doing that for so long. Like I won't go into a place without cleansing it. I can do it ahead of time from far, far away, not even when I'm right there, and I put different kinds of light structure around places and clear, but also being a healer, so to speak, right? Cleansing and clearing between every client, even if it's virtual, clearing
Mm-hmm.
space, clearing myself, putting myself back into my own center, and then creating a sacred space to enter with that next person that's aligned to what's optimal for them. And it's surprising sometimes how many healers and people who do this kind of all different kinds of work like this don't do that. So I like that
No.
you're bringing it up. It's very, very important. In fact, to me, you don't know what energies you're playing with. It's like cooking in a dirty pan.
Yes, yes. I have met healers that say, oh, you just trust. But like, yeah, okay. But you do have to, what comes with that trust, you do have to make it a little bit more, express that trust, so to speak. Yes. So yeah, the other part of my work, besides feng shui, besides the Taoist ceremony, as you know, I do Chinese astrology, or we call it Bazi. Bazi, the word Bazi in Chinese, in Mandarin, Ba is eight, Z is character. So that's what it actually means. So the word eight characters come from, um, because the like you have yin wood snake. Yin wood is an element, and snake is the zodiac sign. So you, this year, 2026 is the year of yin wood snake. So that is two. That is two. We call it two characters. But of course, for a person's birthday, you have the year character, the year elements, and zodiac. It's the same for the month. For example, you told me you're born in December. So your December has its own element, and it has its own animal sign, the zodiac. And then so for the day as well as for the hour. And with that, you form the eight characters.
Oh,
And this
that's
eight, yeah, that's what it means. That's what Bazi means. And
ah,
from that Bazi, we decipher the information um, from your birth. From your birth, I mean, it forms your birth chart where we analyze using the five elements.
ah,
Like for example, you told me about your birthday.
yeah,
So you are born in the metal red year,
right.
Earth red month,
Earth Rat Month. Okay.
and you're born on the day of the yin wood pig, and hour of the fire dog hour. So that's eight characters. If I write them, even if I write them in English, it's like young metal, rat, wood, earth, rat, wood, snake, fire, dog. That's still eight different characters, eight different elements.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's personal to you is the day, because not everybody is born on, or was born on the same year, same month, same day as you are. So
Right.
the day become our day master. We are the master, kind of like the master element in your chart. So
Okay.
that is the yin wood. So
Yeah.
yin wood is like the vine, you know, the grapevine. Yin wood is not like the tree. It's not a big oak tree that stands there. Yin wood is very flexible and very creative. It creeps everywhere.
Oh,
Yeah, which is, a little bit like your character, it's like they shine, they have this wall and suddenly this flower just peek out of
yeah.
there. It's like they just,
Oh, wow.
these like ideas coming up everywhere. So people of the yin wood energy, especially if they have fire, are very creative.
Oh, wow. It's so
Yeah.
much, it's so interesting the depth to where even a simple system has, what looks like
Mm.
a simple system, but
Yeah. So the very resilient element. So because you only needs a drop of water to survive. Unlike a tree, if it goes into a drought situation, then they can't find water, then they suffer. But for the yin wood, it's very resilient. A little bit of dewdrops, and therefore that makes them very sensitive. If you are you sensitive? When I say energy
I'm
sensitive,
very
yeah,
well emotionally sensitive. Yeah, I mean, I've mastered that because of age and everything else, but very sensitive to energies. Yes,
yes.
yes.
Because if you can imagine, if we talk about a yin wood, it's like this little vine that is out there. You could be on top of the tree, but imagine a dewdrop dropping
Yeah.
onto that leaf, and then it's like a tingling
Yes.
effect.
Kind of
So
like,
that's how, yeah, that's right. And that's what the yin wood's like, They're very sensitive to energy, to their surrounding. And therefore, I'm not surprised that you do what you do.
mm,
You love you have the charisma, you love being, on stage. I may call it this is on stage. You channel your energy out to the world to help the world, and then you work with all the different mystery school, which is the different the energy that kind of like, wow, what's that, every drop of water that is on your petal is like, oh, what's that, I want to learn more about that.
oh my God.
So that is very much what you do. And also fire is your good, you said in your Western astrology, I think we had a little discussion
Fire,
that you have a lot
yeah.
of fire. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do have a lot of fire, and which is very important to you because you in the month of your birth you're born in winter. So this
Yeah.
chart would be a little bit would be less productive if it didn't have any fire.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because it's very cold in winter.
Yeah.
So you do fire is not just fire. Fire is the warmth. So it
Right.
warms you out. And the more you do your work, being like, what is the media publicity or social media, or the more you channel your energy out, um, the better you feel.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The better you feel, and then you become more creative in the process of that.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my
So
gosh.
what you're doing is the right thing, and is your strength
Hmm.
and your gift.
Oh, beautiful. Isn't
And
that?
you have a yang fire in your chart, which means that you are not just talking to one person. Yes, we are talking to each other, one person. Your message is for the world. It's like the sun, the great sun. The sun is not for me personally, not for you. The sun shines for the whole universe.
Yes.
And so that's what the fire element represents in your chart.
Oh my gosh.
And is if I want to bring it to the material sense, it's also how, because wood produce fire, right? It feeds to fire. So you channel your energy out. What happens next? That's also what gives you your abundance and prosperity,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and
Okay.
what keeps you grounded. And then you have the metal, but metal is not in Western astrology. I think it's not
Oh,
one of the elements. Is yeah, but metal is then, well, we call it power and authority, but it is more our I would say our strength and our judgment is our power element. So, and you will be able to use that element to execute, as
oh,
in to activate. Like, I want to do something. I want to run this show. I want to bring back the show. I want to have Clarice Chan or the Mayans and all the healers on an event or a show. You have the power. You have the determination, the power, and the strength to do it. So it's really your strength.
mm.
It's
Ooh.
not very, very strong, which is good because when it is too strong, then it kind of you become overwhelmed. But for
Uh-huh.
you, it's kind of it's very balanced. Do have a lot of water, much because winter is the season of water.
Yeah.
So you do have a lot of water. So you'll never be. That's your resource and spirituality. Is
Oh,
your mother element. Some more water give what you have to have water to survive or wood, right?
yeah.
So you do have a lot of resource, and that's why you're into religion. People with a lot of resource are spiritually religion. They learn everything. They want to know everything, every every question under the sun. They will be asking, and they're great thinkers.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes it can an overabundance of that can sometimes what I call it create a brain jam. So it creates a lot of frustration. So
Mm.
therefore for you it's important. That's why the fire is important. It channels out.
Oh,
When you yeah, if you do not channel out your energy, then you can get very um kind of like restless.
yeah, like a dam.
Yeah, like a dam, like stopping the flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So it's very important. That's why your work is very important.
yeah, yeah.
Not just saying this because I'm online with you, but in your chart,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah, no, no benefit to that anyway. So, wow, it's
yeah,
so amazing. Oh
yeah.
my
I think most people when they talk about astrology, Chinese astrology, so what is your Chinese horoscope? Oh, yeah, I'm a rat. What rat? And now they five types of rat. You are a metal rat. And that itself has a set of meaning, but there's only an element that you share with everyone that was born that year,
yes,
that's
yeah,
born in that year. So you have more similarity or more, well, I could say more similarity or more the journey, I think, is like you go to school at the same year, so on and so forth. If you're born in the same month, then you have more uh, karmic energy together. And then if very rarely they are born on the same day, then few people have the same birthday as us. So your birthday is very personal and very powerful.
mm,
Ancient Chinese do not disclose their birthdays, especially the birth times. Yeah, because they believe that if you now it's all over the internet and it's very open. They believe that people, or rather with the ill intention, can do things to you if they know the in-depth detail, for example.
yes, yeah,
But today in our world, with the internet, I guess nothing is private.
right. I know. Well, that's so interesting because I'm learning Mayan calendar. I mean, you can call it astrology. It's not really astrology in more traditional sense, but the sacred calendar is what they use for what we would call like a birth reading, a birth chart to know what's your purpose when you were born, and then the village would support that. And it's made up of two things. It's a number and a day sign. And
Mm,
they traditionally no one was allowed to know, and you never
mm,
told anyone, because
yes,
if you came from that culture, the minute you told them, they knew everything about you. And the
yes.
elders, there's a lady that I study with sometimes that I talk to, and her father was a Cholki was a Mayan elder teacher and everything, and he never told. She wasn't even sure what his was, even to his.
Yeah, for us, it would be the birth hour that we do not tell.
Ah, okay.
That precisely. But like I said, it's very common now, and people you share it with other practitioners who are just looking to help you. So,
Yes,
but
yeah, correct. Really,
yeah,
that
but
just
we were talking about the dark ages then, but
yeah,
now
yeah, of
it's very
course. Exactly.
it's
Well, and not many people have the depth of wisdom that you have, right? That you could know. So, those other things have, but it does, there's the systems, these forms of languages, reading and understanding these different languages, and how we've been given so much information, these little operating manuals that came with us, so to speak, to dive deeper into, like you said, well, you know, who are you and how's this supporting you? And then you can see it's always fun when you're like, oh yeah, I am like that. And oh, I really want to be that way, but you haven't let yourself be that way, right? Or that you go, oh, that makes sense. You see yourself from a new perspective. So there's like the self-acceptance and deeper understanding. That's wow. I mean, so in this the system that you do to so well, do you want to do a little card reading for us before we close?
Sure,
Okay.
sure, we do that. We can do that now. All right. And
So
ask the spirit to guide us. Yes, I'm using a regular deck now. This is the Mythic Tarot deck. And let's see what the spirit has to say. Oh, wow. Guess what? I got to pick the card up, sorry. I got a card of the Magician.
wow.
I know that in many readings they talk about the magician being the trickster, but for me, whenever I see the Magician, it's one of the most powerful card in the deck. There are many powerful cards, but this is like the beginning. It is like, you know, you look at the image of this young person, it has all the four elements. You know, you have the pentacles, you have the sword, you have the wand, and you have the cups. And you have the roads. And it's like, are you ready for your journey? And to all the priestesses joining us, male or female, you know, it is a message to you is that if you are here, are you ready for your journey? And in every aspect of your life, if you are indeed wondering, pondering if what you're doing or what you wish to do, what you dream you want to be, is indeed your calling or your path, this card is telling you just pick up your element and walk. Go forth. Do not stand at the crossroad.
Wow. That's fantastic.
So this is, yeah, and then let's do another card, which
Okay.
is,
That's like so
let's see,
perfect.
pardon.
It's so perfect for
Yeah.
what we're doing.
I know, for this moment, right? And it just came out by itself. And it's like, you know, I find that always very intriguing, that a card when I do a reading, and it would just, you know. Now this is interesting. You have the card of the King of Pentacles.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, are you able to see it?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. So he's like the minder, someone with the golden touch, you know, the touch, everything you touch turn to gold. So if we're talking about, this is an abundant time, and today I think we are at that very potent time of the Lion's Gate, and you have, you know, Jupiter and Venus in Cancer right now, and you know, it's very all that strong energy right now. So if you are feeling lacking, if someone's feeling a sense of lack in their life, is to dispel those thoughts and focus on the abundance of this time. Do your meditation. Do your 3 minutes meditation. So many meditations that we can do to, you know, to activate the energy of abundance in our life. And also is to be grounded, to trust and to hold on to that energy, not to think that it's going to escape us. Sometimes we chase, but it's really to sit back and know that we are worth it, we deserve it, and it is here for us, but we have to trust.
Oh my God.
One last card. Yeah. So we have one for the spiritual, we had one for the physical, one really about the mindset. Let's see what's next.
Okay. That was perfect. Oh my gosh, that was amazing. The groundedness of accepting your abundance, just accepting it.
Yes. Yes. Right. This is interesting. So this is the 10th of Wands. And really, this card is about, you know, sometimes if we're talking about, sometimes we can try too hard. And it's about letting go. Is at this moment, I feel that it's about letting go. It's allowing um, the universe to work with us. And we cannot always want it our way. I want to be you know, a healer, but I want it this way. I want to do Reiki only. I don't want any, I don't accept Mayan. I don't want to do shaman. I just wanted Reiki only, you know. So many people do that. And then they become burnt out. And then they said, oh, maybe this is not for me. So it's to go with the flow, to allow the energy to work with you, to allow the universe to guide you, be flexible. Sometimes you really have to allow the energy to bend you in order to see what's on the other side.
Yeah, yeah. What does that mean? What does the fire in that card? I'm trying to.
It's the stress.
Oh, okay. Is he
It's
on
the
fire?
stress consuming the person in this card, because it's really a card of a burnt out card in tarot tradition. But what I'm getting is because we are on the show, is that it's telling, you know, if you are here, if what you have been wanting to do has been stressing you out, then it's time to just relax and sit back and let go and allow it to happen.
Mm.
And it may not be the way you want it.
Yes.
Yeah. When I started doing the tarot, it was very interesting because at that time it was at the beginning of I left my career, and then I became, you know, I said, so for me it's very interesting when I talk to people. It's not something I take on. Is when I left my career, my travel business, to walk to do light work, so spiritual work, it is truly a way of life for me. So I thought that I was just going to teach Reiki. I didn't do tarot at the time as a profession, as a reader. I didn't do that. I didn't do what you call that, feng shui at the time. But it got to a point I injured myself. I couldn't teach Reiki. I couldn't do the attunements anymore. And for 3 months, I was like, what am I supposed to do? Is like this guy here, you know? Where is he? It's like, what am I supposed to do? I can't live on love and fresh air. I have a body, you know, I need to survive, you know, I need, you know, elements to work with. And that was just one word that like the universe has inserted a flashcard in my head, and it was the tarot.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, fine, I can do the tarot, but how? Throw a carpet on the floor and sit on the streets of Singapore? Well, show me, because I don't know how. But then the universe showed me, because 3 days later, after I had that experience, and I had a phone call from one of the holistic centers in Singapore, said they were looking for a tarot reader, and my card fell out. And they noticed that I do tarot. And would I do the tarot? Would I be a reader at this event? Obviously, you have to pay. I said, sure, but I have no money. And then that's fine. You can you can work for us, as in you do the readings, and you don't have to pay anything. You get to keep the client data, but the money belongs to us. I said, fine, let's do it. And that's how I start.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I got I started with my client base from there, and they were so appreciative. I did so many readings that weekend. I did 56 readings. I mean, there was like the it
In one
was
week?
no, in 3 days, like 2.5 days. They were so amazed. They said they weren't gonna they want to give I wasn't gonna earn any money, right? They were so amazed that at the end of that event, they said to me, "You got to stay back." I said, "Okay," and they said, well, then they gave me an envelope, and then they said that this is in appreciation of your work. We can't just let you work 2.5 days and walk off with no money.
Well, and probably not everybody does that many readings. That's pretty profound.
Yes, that's really, I mean, it was good. It was my first public event,
Yeah.
first ever, but that's how I got started. I never looked back. And since then, my journey has transformed, and now I'm online with you. It's all amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I really appreciate you sharing your story there because that's very inspiring to people, like saying, "Hey, what am I supposed to do? Like I need to pay the bills, I need to eat." And that being, there being the answer's already there, right? And so it's
Yes,
whenever you reach the point of being like in the right place at the right time or open or willing, and to just have that show up like that, just so profound.
yes,
Like, what
yes,
do I do here? Do this.
yes,
Okay. But the part I love too is I think as another speaker said, doesn't need to be the way you think, or maybe you mentioned it earlier, like you may think it's going to
yeah,
be a certain way, and that gets you going, but then let go of that, let it come to you in its own way.
yeah. It's that ego, right? I want it my way, right? I see myself as a healer, I see myself as that reader. But what does the universe have in mind for us? What works for us? We do not know.
And so
We
much
can
easier.
only be open.
That was so much easier than chasing down a million things and trying to figure out how to do it, is opening the door and then,
Yes,
oh, okay, wow. And when it came to you, you didn't say, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this. But, this is it's horrible. I don't have the money to do this." You just said yes, and they figured it out. Spirit figured it out.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Good.
weird. It's amazing. It's almost, it's, to me, I feel that it's one of the miracles of my life.
Yes.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be. I mean, I don't know if I would been here, but honestly, that's the beginning of my journey.
Well, and that's what, it was everything coming together, and you stepped through the doorway into your purpose. And we've talked about that a lot in this series, is how the universe steps up to take care of you, right? It steps in to provide for you, because the agreement is you come do your thing, we'll take care of you. We were
Yes,
taught something else, but that's really
yes,
the way the universe is meant
yeah.
to work. So,
Mhm.
wow. Thank you. Oh, it's been so much fun. I appreciate it so.
Yes, it's lovely. I really enjoy. I feel very comfortable talking to you, and it's an amazing setting. And we talked about so many of the different schools of School of Thoughts and metaphysics, and it's really good.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you for hosting this.
absolutely. Yes, I love it. And there's so much there that people can use. Like, even though you were talking about my chart for a while, like if you have metal or you have certain things, there was a lot of depth in there. Thank you for.
Yeah, okay. For that, for them, for everyone out there, is to find out their birth chart, as into like what is their personal element. It's always based on the day that they are born.
Okay,
So
yes.
there are online calculators that you can work on. Punch in your birth date, even if you don't have the birth time, you can work out what is your day element. So, and
Mhm.
depending on the day element, like I'm born on the day of water, I'm a water tiger day. Then water is my main element, my self element, and my day master. Then fire is my money. Is my prosperity, my abundance, is my the is what do you call that, is also my passion, uh my opinions and so forth. But then my power element is actually earth.
Oh,
So
okay.
for it's not the same for everyone what your elements are.
Great. Yes. And
Yeah,
then because they're in a different place, how they work for you. So
yes, yes, yeah.
good. Well, thank you again. And
Thank you.
you all go and check out Clarice. You get to her website, you see all these wonderful things. Oh my gosh, get a session with you, and people can hire you right online.
Yes, they can, or they can come see me at Love Conscious Life Expo
Oh,
in Los Angeles next year. We starts on the 20th of February. We'll through to the Monday with a symposium. I have a workshop on a Saturday, and I also have a workshop on Monday itself, which is the post conference.
oh, oh my
And
gosh.
I would have my new book then. I have my book signing, and
Oh,
also I'll be doing readings on the Monday. So that's great.
Yes, that's a perfect way to start because the new year is what, the 4th of February, or is it the
4th of
2nd?
February is annually where the zodiac sign change over. There are many confusion that is the Chinese New Year, but it's a totally different calendar.
Mm,
So, and now we are talking about the Chinese New Year is actually on the 18th of February, which is always the first Aquarian full moon, a new moon.
yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
that's amazing by itself again, that is always at that same time, the first Aquarian new moon.
yeah, and that's such a feminine thing, right? That's like a
Yes.
new moon, and to guide the cycles that way, to be flexible, to be less rigid, to let it flow and be in alignment with more of um the whole cosmic energies too. So there. Wonderful. Well, thank you again. I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
that you were here. And let's just take a moment together and take a breath in and feel like you're breathing in all this wonderful energy, all these juicy information and wonderful, the whole space that we're in. And let it go and feel like you swallowed it and you're digesting it and you're just letting it come out of your pores very, very gently. And let's just say thank you so much with deep appreciation, with reverence, with gratitude, with wide open minds and hearts. We say thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
everything that has happened here. And we're going to send all of this love towards Clarice, towards
And to
all that
you.
she does, asking to multiply these blessings, return to each of us, and continue in an infinite flow out. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So we will say thank you to the whole space, to everything that's gathered here again, and may the circle be open yet unbroken as we each walk our own ways today. Remember to share what you've learned, be in delight, be happy, share this with other people. Know that you're not alone. Know that your spirit is organizing beautiful, magical moments to show you exactly where to go and expect them and look for them. And then I will see you again on the next show. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.